First off, before this video begins, I just want to thank everybody who subscribed to my channel so far. I didn't really think I'd reach the amount I have, even though it's like pretty small. I never thought I'd reach the amount I have today, and I just want to thank you guys enough. I can't really thank you enough. Even though 20 is like not that impressive, I still, yeah, I don't know. I'm just very thankful. Alright, on to the video. Also, gameplay is unrelated. I just didn't really feel like playing Dead by Daylight at the moment. I just wanted to play something else. Alright. So about roughly a week ago, right? Behavior just put out their Operation Help announcement for Dead by Daylight. And a lot of this stuff seems really, really good. But I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these changes were needed a long time ago. A long time ago. But I think the main reason they're finally doing this is all of a sudden, just because the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter is finally coming out to Dead by Daylight, and they're trying to make sure the game is pretty much perfect for it. Not only that, but they also have a supposed like anime chapter coming out that I know a lot of people are pretty excited about because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tokyo Ghoul from what I've heard from like sources. And they're also going to bring in, there's also a supposed rumor of a Jurassic World chapter, which I'm sorry, but I'm a huge dinosaur fan. I play Ark Survival Evolved and Survival Ascended a lot. Two of my favorite games of all time, probably my favorite games of all time, not going to lie to you. But I'm glad they're finally doing these changes. And I think that a lot of these changes that they're putting out right here are definitely going to make the game a lot more, I guess, friendly, and a lot more accessible. And I'm pretty excited for these changes to come to the game. I make me even come back and play as much as I play Ark, you know? And trust me, Dead by Daylight is one of my favorite games. I love this game. I thought it was so cool when I first heard about it. I first started playing when the Demogorgon came out and Ghostface. I was like, this game is Michael Myers, that's so cool. But then all of a sudden I kept playing, I was like, man, this game is just, you know, there's like tunneling, slugging, camping, all that stuff. You know, it's not the most impactful stuff ever. It is pretty impactful, I'm lying to you. But like I never really saw it as like a big issue compared to a lot of other people. A lot of people see it as like cheating or like a reportable offense when Behavior themselves even put it out there saying huddling, slugging, camping, all that is not a reportable offense. But with that little bit out of the way, let's just go into what these changes exactly are. So first up, they're working on a surrender state. And the team has been working on a surrender feature, which should limit player frustration on both sides. To get it right, we first need to identify situations where this would be appropriate, leading us to two scenarios. And then this would lead to survivors being slugged, or all survivors are bots bleeding from DCs. And then once these instances occur, players will be available to use the surrender option, ending the trial or retaining the blood points they've earned and escaping the disconnect penalty. This is a good feature, right? Because, you know, if all survivors are slugged, you know, like let's say you're going against a slugging singularity, because I know that's been pretty prominent. If you go against that, you can just click surrender, and all of a sudden you just escape the DC penalty and you just end the game. Simple as that. You can go next like that. They're also putting in gamma adjustments to make the game brighter or darker, depending on how you like it. And they put it as Dead by Daylight can get a little dark, not just thematically, and sometimes excessive darkness can hinder playability. Introducing the ability to adjust gamma settings on all platforms, allowing you to find a sweet spot without sacrificing the intended artistic direction. This is a good change, right? Because some of the maps like Eerie of Crows or some of the darker maps can get really dark or pretty bright. And I'm a little bit on the risky side, even though I probably shouldn't be. This change is probably going to be more of an accessibility thing. Sorry, I can't talk. And honestly, I'm pretty excited for this change. It's going to make a lot of maps more tolerable. I'm looking at you, Eerie of Crows. You bright map. They're also adding Go Next prevention. The Go Next expression refers to instances where a survivor deliberately does everything in their power to quickly go to their next game, including walking up to the killer and standing still, running to a hook and repeatedly pointing at it. Most commonly, intentionally failing skill checks while on the hook. This is mainly seen when survivors are going against skull merchants or a lot of other quote-unquote toxic killers, like Skull Merchant, Blight, Nurse, like all the good killers and like all the more annoying killers to go against, like the more boring killers. And they're also putting to disincentivize and probably penalize this behavior, will be implementing measures that will help us identify when a player is attempting to go next. Once identified, they'll receive a disconnection penalty point and lose an entire grade, which is a lot to get back. Like, let's say you're Eerie 2, right? And trying to get to Eerie 1. You're going all the way back to Eerie 3 for going next. I think it's a bit silly that they're doing it by that much of a drastic amount, but you know what? I'm here for it. They'll also be saying they're going to be keeping a close eye, but on the other hand, they like to reward players to stick it out through those challenging matches, even when things take a dire turn. They're moving forward with a new emblem-based multiplier that grants additional blood points during your following match. The following bonus stacking over consecutive trials. This is good. This makes it like let's say 2 players go next. Players who just go through the match will get rewarded for sticking through. They're also addressing body blocking and hiding. They're they're putting out that extreme hiding reverses survivors drawing an unwinnable match by ignoring their objective and waiting out the clock. To combat this, we're changing the way AFKs operate, so they can mainly, like, you know, expose hiders or AFK people more accurately. When somebody receives crows, or occasionally will be revealed to the killer, allowing them to pretty much, you know, get them out of the game, do whatever, basically. Well, like, let's say it's like the end of the game and both players are ratting it out, and then you need to find them both, you just don't know exactly what they're doing. It also incorporated a feature that also allows players to lose collision after receiving a third crow, which prevents instances of body block related griefing. This is cool, because I know some people were mad about body blocking. I never found it to be a big issue for me personally, but I know some people did not like body blocking at all. I'm just here just to say, hey, it's coming. You're good. Don't worry. And then we have what's probably the most influential change here, being map offerings. And this is probably the best change they're putting in this whole Operation Life thing. They put that they recognize map offerings are a bit divisive. Some people enjoy them, while others feel they can grant unfair advantage. Yeah, they do. I love going against boil over squads on Badum in the basement. So cool, you know? So, what they're doing is instead of making it guaranteed to go to a map with a map offering, they're only making it increase the chance of going to that map by 20%. And they don't stack at all either. This is perfect. This is already a really good step in the right direction. I'm loving the way that they're going. I think that this is a good change. This is going to be very good. It's going to make people a lot more, you know, they'll make people play a lot more instead of, like, you know, they'll be running to a map offering, like, let's say, Pied Piper, you go to Badum, and all of a sudden you're playing against a boilover squad, and they're trying to get you to the basement, and all of a sudden you can't hook them, so you have to slug them. And then all of a sudden those players are complaining about being slugged, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the map offerings. And now they're talking about spawning. Survivors on places have been a significant impact on the trial's outcome, an observation that has been repeatedly recognized by our community. Survivors spawning separately and thereby covering more ground allows them to gain a notable advantage in completing their objective. But now what they're doing is we're changing the default survivor spawn rules to ensure that each survivor will spawn within 12 meters of one another, on the same floor if applicable. To accommodate the change, crowd offerings will be adjusted accordingly. I don't really know how to feel about this one though, right? You can have all 4 survivors spawn 12 meters within each other, and they can recognize the spot on the map and say, go shack, and then you can all of a sudden bring Prove Thyself. This change is going to be Prove Thyself really good now I look at it. Anyway, we're also proving AFK bot detection, right? Players that use AFK bots can be frustrating to have in your trial. I'm working on improvements to our detection systems so you can quickly identify and penalize them accordingly. I mean, it's not the... I don't really know... I didn't really know this was a thing, to be honest with you. But then they're bringing in bulk blood point spending. Thank goodness, because I know a lot of players are tired of just sitting at a screen, pressing the spend all on a page, watching the animation, all of a sudden you're spending 20 minutes just trying to level up a character from 1 to 50 when you have 2 million blood points. Bulk blood point spending. Very good. Very nice. And now they're trying to make it in the quest system, which apparently they announced last year, and I just didn't know. Previously announced last year, the quest system is part of a larger update to the archives and rifts, so expect more information in an article specifically dedicated to that. But for now, they're telling us that they'll be reworking the challenge system, as well as daily rituals, to reduce the grind, make it easier to earn rewards, and increase the overall level of fun. Good step in the right direction. It makes the game a lot more accessible for newer players. Get more blood points, get rewarded. Good. A lot of good stuff. And then they're doing perk loadouts and review. After a successful round of A/B testing, we'll be allowing players to see their own perks and perk loadouts while in a lobby, as well as adding additional perk loadout slots. this is like, this isn't what we want for solo queue, right? This isn't, you can see other people, it's mainly seeing yourself. I'm hoping they make a feature like that in the future so that you can see other people's perks in the lobby. That would be perfect. I would love to see that. I think that would be absolutely perfect for the game. But yeah, a lot of these changes are really good for the game. I don't think any of these changes are necessarily bad at all, except for maybe like spawn rules, because, you know, that could maybe mean something. I don't really know though. This is still like in an announcement phase, so we'll see how this is going to play out in the future, right? And then in the last little bit they say, these changes will be an overall benefit to Dead by Daylight's health, for establishing a positive gaming environment for all our players. Also, I'd like to thank you for your patient understanding during this time. We'll be back at our anniversary broadcast in May to recap Part 1 and provide deeper insight into Part 2 of our roadmap. So keep an eye out for that announcement. In the meantime, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback. Thanks for spending time in the fog, the Dead by Daylight team. I'm very happy with these changes. And this is mainly to talk about Phase 1, but I might as well mention Phase 2 right here. And this is going to be in July-December. I did forget to mention Phase 1 is going to be happening earlier this year as well, in April and June. But yeah, in Phase 2, they're talking about anti-slugging, continued improvements towards that, anti-tunneling, and anti-camping, as well as an MMR update and map and key item balancing. I know all this seems really good, and honestly it is. I cannot wait for these changes to come out. It makes slugging, tunneling, and camping a more lesser sought after strategy. I hope they don't nerf it too much, because sometimes you will need to tunnel and slug, because sometimes players, like, they will be able to do generators really quick, and if you don't have a kill by, let's say, 2 generators, it's already like pretty much rough. Very rough to get through. And also talking about anti-camping, they already put this with the anti-camp feature that's already existent in the game, but at the same time that system is already god awful. It's a horrendous system. I don't think that should have been in the game. Them anti-slugging improvements, a lot of these changes are going to be very good. I will say though, as someone who does play killer and does slug and tunnel from time to time a bit, this is only not really that much though. I will admit I'm a little bit devious. But as someone who plays a lot of killer, I am definitely a fan of the changes, even though I don't really think that anti-tunneling really needs as much of a touch-up, because a lot of perks in the game already counter that playstyle. Like, we have Decisive Strike, Dead Hard, we have Babysitter, we have... what else do we have in the game? We have Off the Record. We already have a bunch of stuff that counters tunneling. But I'm glad to see them making a more of an effort to reduce the effort of tunneling, camping, and slugging, and making just normal gameplay out there. And they're also introducing more quality of life changes here, with keyboard and mouse and consoles. That's going to be a good one. Custom game improvements, so this is more for comp DBD, I guess, I don't know. Accessibility improvements, prestige rewards. I'm excited for that. Very excited for that. Prestige rewards is going to be a big one. Mainly because, you know, a lot of prestige rewards now is just the bloody outfits and getting the perks to all the killers. I think what they could do, right, is they bring back the legacy outfits, right? Like the ones for Nurse, Trapper, Blight, and not Blight. Trapper, Nurse, Blight, not Blight. I said Blight again, god. Trapper, Wraith, Billy, and Nurse, as well as Jake, Nia, Dwight, Meg, and who was the last one? Claudette. They all had their legacy outfits, but I could see them making styles for every killer in the game if they reach Prestige 100, as a little way to add more flair to your funny 100 number, and then also reduce login steps. And they're also putting out that there's more, including bug fixes for long-standing issues. That's a lot to take in, and honestly, I'm pretty excited for all this. What's also funny is that Overwatch is also doing something similar, since Marvel Rivals is a pretty big contender to the game right now. And honestly, probably, I wouldn't say killed Overwatch, because Overwatch is still pretty much out there. I just find it really convenient that both the games are out there, and that they're both, you know, they're both originated in 2016, came out 2016, and now, literally within weeks of each other, or even days, honestly, they put out updates that are gonna make the game like more to the community. That's really funny, honestly. I was looking at it, I was like, wow, beginners from 2016 are finally looking back at the game and fixing it. Pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I feel like a lot of these changes were definitely needed a long time ago, but I do feel like a lot of the changes that are coming now are more than perfect already. I think what we have here is already phenomenal. So, what do you guys think about these changes? Let me know. Put it down in the comments. I'm going to read each and every single one of them you put down there. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Let me know that you guys like this sort of video. And maybe subscribe. I'll try to hit a pretty good amount by the end of the year. Big 50. Maybe even 100 if I'm being a bit too, you know, out there, I guess, is what I would say. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for me. I'll see you guys in a later video. Peace out. Love you all.